Hello and welcome back to part 13 of how to make a board game in Unreal Engine. I actually want to start today with a little bit of a shameless plug, but I did make my store page for the board game I'm making. I went with Conquest of Kings for the name. Still have a lot of work to do, so not actually fully released yet, but if you could, I'll leave a link in the description, but if you could give it a wish list, that would be really awesome. Really hard, obviously, for indies to get really any exposure, and wish lists help a lot with the algorithm. So if you wouldn't mind doing it, I'd appreciate that. And I've also created a Discord as well. Just kind of thinking as we go through tutorials, and I'll be doing more tutorials too, might be a good place to go and ask questions versus comments and whatever else. So I'll put that down below as well, and feel free to join the Discord and post any questions you have. But with that, shameless plug over, and we can get into the tutorial. So where we left last is we got the dice to start rolling when we're doing battle. And what I was kind of debating is how I wanted to handle the resolution. So let me just kind of pull up where we were at. I'll kind of explain what I've decided I want to do. So bring these guys in, we attack, into battle, this little cinematic, get the dice rolls. Looks like we have some HUD issues on the client we'll have to resolve, but on the server side, which is on the right, get the dice rolls, tools it up. So in this case, the attacker, which is red, would have won. So now we need to decide, well, what happens to this blue army? And so what I decided I wanted to do is I'm going to have another dice roll for that, and it's going to roll a 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, or 3. And that will be the casualties. So I was just kind of playing around with this right now, but I'll walk through what I did, and then we'll pick it back up. So I brought in just a blank die. So instead of a die with any indents like our battle die, it's just completely smooth. If you need a refresher on that, just I'll link down my how to make a dice tutorial, but just get to this point and bring it in. And then what we do after that is we currently have an enumeration on the type of die. So I added in a casualty die. Just hit new casualty die. And then within our BP die, the blueprint, the way this works is in the construction script, we are switching on the enumeration, and then we're setting the material. Currently we set attacker and defender, but what I'm doing instead here for the casualty die is I'm grabbing a reference to our die, and I'm setting the static mesh. So I'm changing it from its default, which is the battle dice, and I'm switching it to the blank die. And then this is important, you do have to do this, the set with notify for the material, and just leave that blank. And then what that does is it'll run this event, and then we'll set the material to the die material, which is simply just this marble texture, but yours might be white, which is fine, but whatever you just want the kind of default color to be. And that will look like this. And so now what we'll do is we'll go into our viewport, and I'm going to do this via text. So you can do add component, search text, and grab a text render. Now I wonder, actually, can I set these to the child of the arrow? Let's just see what this looks like. Yeah, it kind of sits in the center. But I think this is actually appropriate. So I think it should maybe be a child to the arrow. I just gotta remember where these different arrows are. Must be this one on the bottom. Yeah, 3. So bring all of these out, and then this will simply just be the number. So on the text in these alignments, just go center and center. Drag this down a little bit. And so maybe on this side, since it's already a 3, let's do a 3. And I'll scale this size up to 72. 44. Make this pretty big. So it's 250 too big, probably. Like 200. I think that looks good. And then our background for this will be this marble white. So let's go back in here and let's switch this to like black. And remember, like, this dice has these indents, but let me just switch this to blank for now, just so you can see what this will look like. Die blank. And this would just be the die material. Don't switch this on your end unless you just want to get a visualization. Oh, and actually that won't work. Die attacker. I'm going to switch this back. Sorry. What we'll do instead is we'll just change the enumeration. Because this is in our construction script, this runs automatically. We'll switch this back to the attacker after. And really it shouldn't matter, but anyways. So here's a 3. And let's copy this, come to here, and put it under this arrow. I think this is that one. Check this out. And I think I did, what, 200? Yeah. This looks so much smaller, though. 0.4, this has a scale of 0.4. Okay. I don't know why that changed. Make this like a 2. Copy again, paste, and put this. Let's see, which one would be the opposite side? This one. This over here. Scale keeps changing, I'm not sure why. Something screwed up with the rotation. Let's see, we want that to be 90, 0, 0, no, X 180. There we go. Check this kind of like that. So 2, 2, 3. And I'll do, actually, I'm going to make this a 1. So go 3, 2, 1. Do another 1 and then 2 zeros. And you can do whatever you want, right? Maybe you want your game to be a little bit more punishing, so the frequency of deaths is higher. It's completely fine. So we'll make this a 0. Just kind of reset some of these. Back to 0.4. Okay. Copy, paste. And which arrow is this? And let's see, I got some of these arrows screwed up. This already has a number. So which one does this belong to? There. And this doesn't actually need the rotation. Okay. Hope you're able to follow along with this. I'm kind of doing this on the fly. But basically you just want to make sure the number aligns with the correct arrow. And sometimes it's hard to tell. So I'm just kind of moving them, placing them back so I know what arrow it is for sure. And I hate how the I'm actually going to make this one a 0, and I'll make this one a 2. Just so I don't have zeros right next to each other. There we go. So we have a 3, a 2, 0, 0, 1, and this should be the top arrow. Perfect. Paste this. this up, and this will be a 1. Okay, so we have a 2, 0, 1, 0, 1, 3. So 2 zeros, 2 1s, 1, 2, and 1, 3. And actually, let me see what these look like as red, since this is going to be, you know, essentially deaths. This render is so weird. Or whatever, I'm just going to go black. That's fine. Okay. So we have that done. The next thing we have to do is in our event graph. So we have this event, get the dice roll. It basically gets whatever of those arrows is pointing up. What I'm going to do instead, or we're still going to do the same logic. Just trying to think what the best way to do this is, because we don't really care about these die rolls anymore. So I think the best way to do this is let's grab all this, drag it over. We'll pull in our die type and do a get and switch. And then our attacker die and defender die will both pull through the original. But our casualty die will be the same logic, but instead of setting this die roll, we'll set a casualty variable. So I'm actually just going to copy all of this and paste it down here. And we're going to do something like this again. So I'm going to leave those pieces there. That will stay. Then we can delete all of these, setting the dice rolls. Now what's this at the end? Get dice roll. Okay, so this is if it's still rolling. Repeats to up here. Okay. So let's drag this down, and this would be off of our casualty dice, or die. Just going to reroute that a bit. Okay, and then we will create a new variable. We'll call this the die casualty. I think that's how you spell it. Make that an integer. And we'll make it replicated. I don't think we necessarily need to, but just in case we do, we'll do that. Okay, so now what we got to figure out is which of these arrows corresponds with which number. So this first one is arrow 3, and arrow 3 is a 3. So come in, set this, we'll set the die casualty to a 3. Arrow 2, 2 is a 0. Copy and paste that down, 0. And then we have arrow 1, which is a 1. And so on and so forth. 1, 1 is a 2. And arrow 2 is 0. And arrow 0 is a 1. Okay. So we have 2 zeros, 2 1s, a 2, and a 3. Perfect. And these can all connect back into this node. Cool. And then let's go into our game mode. So we have a function currently for the die roll. let's just make another one, and we will call this die roll casualty. It's definitely not how you spell this. Let's grab this enumeration quick, and we'll change the spelling. Casualty. Okay. And what does this battle resolution event do? Resets the camera, battle resolution, which sums everything up. Okay. So in this event, we'll kind of code this out later, but we want the integer and then the die enum. So battle dice type enumeration. So this will be number casualties, and this will just be the die enum. I'm just going to change the order. Okay, so when this event runs, we'll switch, and we'll be passing through our enumeration, and then we'll be getting the casualty number. Let's come back into our BP here, and off of our game mode, dice roll casualty, plug that in, grab our die type, and then we'll pull out our die casualty, pass that through, and then again we'll do the remove all die, which that is destroying all of the die and all the plates. Okay, perfect. So now I got to think about how we actually want to implement this, because today how this works is we have this battle resolution, which creates this battle resolution widget, which is this, and that's what shows the strength of the attacker and defender, the dice rolls, and then the total. So we'll determine a winner. Maybe in here we'll just call that out more specifically. So I think our vert box, yeah. So with this vert box, let's just add a text. Put that down below. And by default, we'll just say attacker wins. Make this at 32. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger, size 350. And we can center that, maybe like a bold italic. And let's go back into our graph. On the construct, let's get both of our attacker and defender. What we'll just do is this greater than this. But we also have to decide on ties. I think most simply, I think a tie should go to the defender. So I'm going to do it that way. I think that makes sense. So this would have to be greater than the defender strength, and if these are the same, this will return as false. Let's create this branch, and then we will make a new variable, winner text. Pull us out to set it, true, false. I'm just going to copy this. So if the attacker strength is bigger, attacker wins. If not, defender wins. Okay. And let me think here for a second. Probably want the game mode to also do this logic. So we have a battle resolution, we're setting these, passing that through in this variable. I'm going to move this over. And just for lack of clutter, I'm going to do this in a function. Determine winner / loser. And we're setting these as variables, so let's pull these in. So this will be the exact same. Not set. Get these. But we're actually going to do this via the player controllers. So, and then we'll send them both different widgets, and then we'll do another dice roll. So if this is true, let's grab our attacker, defender, I'm going to create a couple different widgets, I think. So let me think. I think what this widget will be, so we have this battle resolution. I think what we'll do, this will pop up, and then we'll do like a little bit of a delay so everybody can read it for maybe 3 seconds, and then we'll do the casualty dice roll. And while that's happening, we'll populate another widget that says, you won, you lost. And if you lost, then that dice roll will populate to your widget, and then you'll have to choose which units to destroy. And then we'll also do some sort of routing mechanic. So if you lose a battle here, you have 3 units, and a 1 is rolled, you have to destroy 1, and then move those units back to a different tile. So let's make that widget quick. I'm just going to copy and paste this, and we'll just call this like battle outcome. Oh, one thing I think I forgot to do in the battle resolution is this text. Bind this to the winner text. So we're setting that here, and then as that changes, this will change, and then by default, like that blank. Then this battle outcome, and this will say you won, or it'll say you lost. And let's see. Actually, we'll have this just say attacker wins, defender wins. And I think we'll bring through a lot of the same information, so text will go away, we'll still see this information. Then the difference now will be, let's do another horizontal box. Drag that into our vert box. Let go. Horizontal box into the vertical box. There we go. We'll do 2 texts in here. This is what will be the casualty die roll. So, casualties. And let's do another text. And this will be the roll. Let's make both of these a little bit bigger. Bold italic, and then this border we can make the Y size of 400. And I'm just going to set both of these to fill. And this will just say, actually, this is going to be do a button. So it'll be kind of like a accept button. You don't need fill. Do center, vertical, put a text on it. Continue. Actually, on this casualty number, let's do something different with this. Let's make this like red. Maybe make that a little bit bigger. Or something like that. Okay, and then if you are the loser, then when you hit continue, that's when we'll resolve the logic. Yeah, okay. And this is already bound to the winner. Okay. Just need to think about this here for a second. So this stuff will all still pass through, just like battle resolution. We'll get this. We're going to need a variable for our number of casualties. This will be an integer. Come back to here and just set this now. Oops. Okay. Okay. So first, let's actually start doing the dice roll. So we'll do this in our battle game mode, battle resolution. First, I have to do this determine winner or loser. So this logic will run as this widget populates. I think what we'll do here yeah, okay. So let's go back to our player controller. We'll do another custom event. Battle outcome client. And again, this will be run on owning client and reliable. And we can just copy and paste this. And this will be our battle outcome. Grab a lot of the same stuff from before. And we'll just plug all of this in. But the one thing we're going to do differently is within our battle outcome widget, attacker win, defender win. This is going to be set yes, actually we're not going to do this in here. We're going to make this text, this winner text, instance editable, expose on spawn. So when we do file, refresh all nodes, that'll populate in here, and we'll pass that through as well. Let's go back into our game mode. In our battle resolution, we can copy all of this, paste this here. Okay, so if the attacker's strength is greater than the defender's strength, what's this event called in our player controller? Battle outcome client. So we'll do battle outcome client. So a lot of this stuff is going to be really similar, but what we're going to do different is I'm going to pass all this junk through. we'll just type in U1. And that's what the text at the top of this will say, U1. And for the defender, I'm just going to kind of bring this in closer and copy and paste this whole thing so we don't have to run the reroutes all over again. In this case, it'll say, you lost, ... Maybe you lost and resolve casualties. We can copy all of this and paste it down here, and this will just be the exact opposite. So in this case, this is if the attacker strength is not greater than the defender. So in that case, this will be you lost, resolve casualties for the attacker, and then the defender will be you won. And I'm going to do one more thing here too. In our battle outcomes, come back to the graph. Let's do another variable. Oops, not macro. It should just be one question mark, and we'll make this a Boolean. Instance editable, expose on spawn. And come back into our player controller. Let's pass that through. And in our game mode, we'll just manually check these. So 1, so true, 1, false, did not win, false, did not win, true, did win. Okay. And let's drag this over. So what we'll do here is I don't know, maybe like a 2-second delay. And after this delay, let's make a custom event over here. Destroy battle resolution client. And that'll run on the own client to be reliable. And we will get this variable and right click, convert to validated get. If this is valid, remove from parent. And the other thing we'll do as well is drag this out, set it, and we'll set this to null. So you'll basically be able to read the resolution widget for 2 seconds, and then after the delay, we will destroy battle resolution, destroy the widget, and we'll populate this new one. Then I think again what we'll do is the same kind of dice roll mechanic. So let me remember how we were doing that. Okay, so I'm just trying to refresh my memory, but in our battle begin, when we press this battle begin button in the battle begin widget, when that is clicked, we run this battle dice battle roll event in the player controller, move all the dice, but what we're really doing is this call spawn die, which is in our event dispatch from the game mode. So it's not actually doing anything within the game mode, but it's in our level blueprint. So within your editor, go blueprints, open level blueprint. It's here. So we're binding it to this event. And we're spawning our plate. And spawning our die. twice, setting a location, and then rolling the dice. So we want to do the same kind of logic, but instead of 2 dice, we just want to do 1. And I think the best way to do this is in our game mode. Let's create another event dispatch. Let's do spawn casualty die. File save, and let's see. I think you drag this out. Yeah, call. No, not call. Event. I think that's correct. And then back in our level blueprint. Yeah, we've already got a lot of this going on, but let's keep dragging this along, which is our game mode. And we will do bind event to PC, no, to, yeah, bind event to spawn casualty die. Connect that up. So a lot of this logic will be really similar. Give ourselves a lot of space here. Create a custom event, casualty die, and plug that in here. And we can copy everything through here. We don't need this bottom level because we'll just be spawning 1 die. Okay, so plate spawn will be the same, but this will be different. So let's go back into our level blueprint. And the way we have this working now, delete this out, is up here we have these random actors that are just kind of the placeholders for where we want this stuff to spawn. So I'm going to grab this one, hold Alt, just drag this right in the middle, and I'm going to call this die Cas SP. And in our tags, let's do Cas die spawn. And I'm going to copy that. We'll go back into our level blueprint. And instead of looking for actors with the attack die spawn, do the casualty die spawn. Oh, one thing I forgot to do, back in the BP die, and really actually this doesn't matter, but I'm going to reset this default and move back to the attack die. Okay, back in the level blueprint, we'll do the casualty die. And then we'll get the dice roll. Okay. This should work. Now we just have to get it to start. So let me just kind of work through this quick. Do a battle resolution, which will determine the winner or loser, which will run this event, which will create this battle outcome widget. And one thing I want to do in here is let's go into our battle outcome. We're going to do one more variable. This is going to be dice rolled, question mark. And by default, this will be false. So this widget is going to appear while those dice are rolling. So basically, until the dice roll, we can't click this continue button. And the other check we'll do is, if we won, then when we hit continue, we don't have to worry about any casualties. But the loser, this will be false, so we'll branch off of that and do the casualty logic in routing. And for the winner, they'll move into the tile they were attacking. Okay, so I want to kind of do a lot of the same logic we were doing before, which Now I gotta remember how we did that. Okay, so in our battle begin, we press the button, remove all the die, call this event, and remove the, yeah, okay. So we remove our battle begin widget, and then that calls the event dispatcher again within our game mode, which is the, sorry, I just want to line these up. Call PC to die roll cam, which is something we hooked up here, where we get all the player controllers and we set their view target to the die. So we basically want to do that again, and that has to be through our game mode. Move battle begin widgets. Okay, so I'm going to copy actually this logic, and we'll make a custom event within the game mode. This will be remove battle resolution widgets. This is looping for all of our player controllers, so we'll do it for all of them. But instead of the remove battle, we'll do the destroy battle resolution client. Which is this logic, and to keep this consistent, we have this. Instead of destroy, I'm just going to do remove. That's how we, there's a nomenclature we have in the other one, so. Okay. And so what we'll do is we can then get rid of that, right? Since we're going to be calling this from the game mode, we can get rid of that here. And so what I want to do instead is we're going to reference our game mode, and we will, what is it called? Call spawn casualty die. We'll plug that in here. This is from our battle outcome client. And after we create this widget, let's promote this to a variable. Call this battle outcome widget. And we'll add to viewport. And one thing I forgot to do too in our BP die, grab all of these texts and search for visibility. Set that to false. So by default, we don't want those numbers shown. And let's come back into our event graph, drag all of these in, and we're coming off of our casualty die, set visibility, and set that to true. We can plug all of these in. Okay, let's test this out. Attack, attack, begin the battle. Defender wins. Okay. Definitely have some issues. First, with the widgets are not being removed properly. So I'm going to start on those to clean this up, and then we can kind of take it from there. Okay, one of the first things we want to do in our player controller is, where was I? Okay, so this remove battle begin widget. Currently, Probably only have this. You're getting it, removing it from the viewport. But we do want to set the variable to null. So grab your battle begin widget, set, and set that to null. The other problem we're having is we can't actually access the game mode from our client, which is because the game mode only exists on the server, and we're running this on the client, so the client doesn't actually get the game mode because it's only on the server. So this has to be a server-only thing. So I'm actually going to remove all of this. Let me get this back over. And we're actually going to do this logic via the game mode. Okay, so in our game mode, we're doing this battle resolution function. For each loop, we are running this battle resolution event. Or not the battle resolution, what's our determine winner or loser. This is what's doing the battle outcome, which then does this. So one of the first things we want to do in here is actually call this remove battle resolutions widget. So let's drag all of this over. Now we will do remove battle resolution widgets, which will then run these events, which will run this. So that should get rid of that widget. And off of this complete, actually I want to check one more thing because, okay, yeah, so what I was checking was when do those die remove? And they don't remove for 5 seconds until they're done rolling. So they can be rolling for a couple seconds and then they get removed. So we kind of come back into this. In the battle, these guys are rolling. And now that countdown's happening, and still some funkiness with widgets. But basically when we spawn it again, yeah, I gotta figure out the time delay for this. Okay, sorry, this has been a kind of a cluster of a video, and frustrating on my side trying to figure this out, but I did figure it out, and yeah, apologies, it's been a little bit of a mess, but the dice roll mechanics is new to me, and that's something I'm doing in Conquest of Kings, so I'm trying to figure it out as I go, but rest assured, I think I do have this figured out. So the first problem with the widgets, and it was kind of stupid, but with our battle resolution client. So this is coming from the game mode, and essentially what's happening is it's running twice. Once for the server instance of the player controller, and once for the client instance for both players. So there's two players, and they both have a player controller on the server and the client. That makes sense with how replication works. So effectively this is running twice on both sides. So before this, we didn't have this logic here, and I'll walk you through this, but this was getting created twice and added to the viewport twice, but we only have one variable. So we were removing it, but only removing it once, if that makes sense. So what I added here instead is when you get your battle resolution widget, convert to a validated get. That's what this is. So this is what this is saying is if we already have this, if that's true, remove it. Right? So you just come off this, remove from parent. If it's not valid, then just create it, set it, add it to the viewport. So that will remove any redundant widgets on the creation of them. So that's good logic there. The other piece is just some of this timing. So what I've done in the game mode is on this battle resolution event, you had some logic here to reset the view. Just get rid of that. You just want this to read like this, because there's no sense in moving the camera back to then only come back for the next dice roll. So we can clear that out, and then basically we have this delay coming off of our remove battle resolution widgets. I'm setting that to 3 seconds, and in your player controller, your battle outcome client, also have that to 3 seconds. So these two should be the same, because what's happening is we're determining the winner or loser when we're removing the battle resolution widgets, and then we're creating the outcome widget. But this is kind of happening simultaneously. It's a good thing I came here too. This was like somewhere in this line of code. Just move this down to the on-complete. So I think it probably was here. Slide it down to on-complete and then run it. So we're kind of creating two widgets at once, and you can't do delays in functions. So my workaround is I'll do the delay here, because well, you want some time to read how the battle went with the dice rolls and then the casualty resolution. So 3 second delay here and 3 second delay in your battle outcome client for creating the widget. So that should take care of all that. And then just make sure you have this code, but we'll do the delay for each loop, remove the resolution client, remove all the die, and then we'll call the spawn casualty die, which is in our level blueprint, and we'll respawn the plate and respawn the a different die. Another problem with our die is I did this logic incorrectly. So in the construction script, we're changing the static mesh to the blank die and setting the visibility, but this is only happening on the server. So to get around this with our material before, we have this variable, our material, as a rep notify, which replicates it. So you double click that and come to here. So what we need to do is grab this and this, Control X to cut it, and we're going to do that logic in here. So come back to the construction script and clean this back up. And that's why it's important to have this setting, even though it's setting as a null, it'll still run this event. And what we'll do instead here, so the first thing we want to do is set the static mesh. Then we'll set the material. Just kind of drag this in. And then we'll set the visibility of the text to true. Okay, now let's test this again. Grab our guys, attack, battle. Okay. Good. And not good. This didn't set. Why didn't this set? Okay. The cluster continues, but got this figured out. So, first thing we're going to do, currently you have two material instances, one for your attacker, one for your defender. So go ahead and copy this. So just Control C, then Control V, and name that copy die material white, and then just change its tint to white. Okay. So once you have that, come back into your BP die, and in your construction script, the only thing you should have coming off of your construction script now is setting the variable material instance, and instead of null, change this to the die material white. And from there, come into the event notify, and then have your static mesh changing to the blank, pass in your die material instance, and then set the visibility to true. The other thing, I don't know, I didn't test if this was the issue or not, but I think it's good practice to have it, is on your die type, make sure this is replicated. That way we can just make sure the client is aware, the client version of the dice, even though this is spotting on the server and replicated, you shouldn't need to do it, but just set it to replicated just to make sure. Actually, I guess I'll just try to test it without it. We'll see if that was a problem. But this should work now. So we should have all of these little bugs fixed. So come in, play, initial dice roll. Okay, the defender wins, widgets are gone, and the die is correct, but the text isn't coming through. So I think it must be this. So let's try to scan with replicated. Attack, in. Attacker wins. Good, okay. So replication was the problem. Cool. Well, I didn't get everything done I wanted to in this video, but I think it's a good place to quit. I think what I want to do in the next video is clean this up a little bit more. So I think instead of this, so these roll, this widget pops up, which is great. Then this one comes in this dice rolls. I think instead what we'll do is we'll remove that widget, but we won't create this one right away. And we'll create this widget after this dice roll is complete. And then this will come in. And then what we'll do is we'll take that dice roll and pass that into the casualties. And when the winner, which in this case would be the client, when they hit continue, just destroy the widget. But the loser will hit continue. And for them, then they'll have to select which units to destroy and route. And then after that's complete, the winner will move into the tile. And then from there, that will be a pretty good spot where it actually resolves a lot of our combat. And then I think what we'll be able to do is actually start working on capturing the sacred sites, doing some of those checks that, you know, if you hold 2 at any point, you win. Some of the econ stuff with, like currently I have like these mines and farms, which farms will give like supply, so how many total units you can have. So capturing more farms allows you to build bigger armies, and then you need gold to actually purchase those armies. So then we'll start building that logic in, along with the win conditions. And then once we have all of that set, we'll fix this to be 4-player by adding in the other 2 player controllers, which I think we have that all built out currently. Let's see. Yeah. So that should all work fine. And then we'll do like main menu stuff. So make a main menu. And then we'll build in the multiplayer, creating servers, hosting games, inviting your friends, and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I know this one was a bit of a mess. If you have issues, let me know in the comments or join the Discord and ask me any questions there. Thanks for watching, and yeah, if you're not subscribed, please like and subscribe. And again, shameless plug, but you check out Conquest of Kings and give that a wish list on Steam. I'd greatly appreciate that. Thank you.